Welcome back to ShadowWalking Group 3, not 3.1. We have decided that we're going to give this another shot. Um, we're here tonight for our actual Session Zero stuff. Yesterday, and what is previously uploaded, because the internet is magic, was more of just like a meet and greet, just to kind of get some ground rules down and get to hear each other's voices for the first time. Now that we've got roles and everybody's put at least a little bit of effort into creating a character, I hope we can start to answer some questions that cropped up. We can narrow down some more specifics and kind of get everything ready for our first run next week. Um, so I guess to start off, how is everybody feeling about their homework?
What was our homework?
I phoned it in.
Character
I had
creation
to
was your
work.
homework.
I apologize.
It's alright. I had to work too. It sucks.
Well, you know that old phone service, Cha-Cha, that everyone used before Google?
Yeah.
I actually just had them create me a character sheet, and they'll get it back to me tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. Did you pay for the premium so they actually got you a good character, or?
Heck yeah.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
It's like, what is it, WinZip? How it always asks you if you want to pay for the full amount. You know, who doesn't do that? Obviously, I did that.
Right?
That's WinRAR, man.
WinRAR, thank you.
And I know somebody who paid for it. Blew my fucking mind. You know what his reasoning was? I use it and I get a lot of value out of it. So I thought it would be the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, if I was independently wealthy, I would totally give the Waymar guys what, $20?
I don't even know how much it would cost.
I don't know either.
Sorry.
Not those Photoshop
Seven,
guys though.
When I one day make money, I'm literally just going to buy it, and then, for the sole purpose of saying, hey, yeah, I actually did buy my copy of WinRAR.
Somewhere, like in an office, a light will blink that is covered in cobwebs. It's like, what just happened?
It's almost worth getting a shirt made for.
The precursors told me of the times when this would happen.
It's prophesized. Okay, great. In that case, does anybody have any questions or things they want to talk about with what they have done so far? I know I was answering a couple of things before we got started tonight, but that was before we had everybody here and sit down and that kind of stuff. So, does anybody have anything that they want to bring up to share with the class, as it were?
Technomancer.
Yeah.
Yay.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. Now that I have stats, I can be killed.
Right? Before I was immortal.
Can't kill what doesn't exist.
How do you kill that which has no life?
There it is. I was waiting for that one.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint you. So if nobody has anything mechanical they want to talk about, how about some... Let's, I guess, go around and kind of get to meet a little bit more about what your characters can do. Like, maybe some of their knowledge skills or some of their contacts, that kind of stuff. And as I like to do, perhaps we'll do the whole left to right thing.
Did I join late this time?
I don't know. It still looks to me as though JT is all the way on the left.
I know we should click that link.
We're missing somebody, aren't we? Oh, Jack. I'm sorry. Continue.
JT, you want to start us off while we learn a little bit about what you've put together?
Well, like I said, I worked a longer day, so I didn't actually get a chance to put a whole lot together.
Tell me it wasn't rolling around in your head getting ideas.
No, unfortunately, I kept canceling my ideas with other ideas. Now I don't know which idea I like best.
Oh no. Well, I'll tell you what. How about we skip ahead to some of your compatriots, and this way, you might find an idea of the pile of ideas that you have that meshes well with one of their ideas.
That works for me.
It also gets you out of the spotlight and lets you go back to hiding. Kind of like when the teacher would call on you in class to answer a question.
That doesn't bother me.
Evan, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, I am trying to go for more of an agile orc because I like going against convention and sanity. basically my character is kind of like if Quentin Tarantino developed superpowers rather than going into directing. Without the foot fetish, might I add. He has gotten a huge amount of initial training from 20th century, like 1970s kung fu flicks. He ended up moving into actual martial arts after he realized he was just doing nonsense. And he can boost his strength and agility. He has improved reflexes too, which lets him kind of go into overdrive in terms of initiative. And he still has Damara, which lets him sort of do the whole Matrix I know Kung Fu thing, but sitting in front of the Trid.
Like, guys, I saw this on TV. It's super easy.
Yep. And then the bastard actually does it. Yeah, and he's got his sensei as a contact. I am working on having a friend who he bonded with while he was working at a physical movie shop, as it were, who turned out to be a weapons dealer. And I'm looking at some other contacts, and I'm considering having him be either a mod or an admin for Kung Fu fan appreciation movie forum.
So let's do a thing. Let's clear. You know what? I'll just make a new page so that it's super easy and we can just bounce back and forth. Sorry, the art will be temporarily unavailable.
But it's not gone.
It's not gone. It was forever preserved on that page. So if you want, well, to grab a piece of the board here, write down, I guess, for ease, since we're still learning people's voices, your name, your character name, a little bit of like, we'll keep it more mechanical than like the Shaolin movie monk. You should be, unarmed, adept. And maybe like write down the start of what you have there for your contacts, so that as we go on, we can really get an overall view at what we have sitting in front of us.
Yep.
I tried to draw a slide, but it didn't
and also,
feel right.
yeah, skill-wise, he's good with guns, but better with clubs and unarmed and blade and that sort of thing.
Beating your face in.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if we don't get into a situation where there's a bar fight and you don't break a chair over some dude's back, I will be disappointed in you.
I was thinking more pool cue over the knee.
Acceptable.
Yeah.
Don't they make stuff like chairs out of plastic that is as strong as steel?
Probably.
My point is, isn't it more likely that you're going to end up breaking some guy's back under a chair than breaking a chair over some guy's back?
Well, if I do the strength boost, I might be able to accomplish both.
Then you end up in a situation where, like, he gets fired from his job and his family lives in poverty and he dies early. And then his son swears revenge, trains his entire childhood, comes of age, seeks you out, yada yada.
Talk shit, get hit.
I mean, that being said, I feel like Kung Fu Movie Monk, who 20 years from now has some dude come up to him and is like, "You killed my father, prepare to die," is going to flip his shit that is the most awesome thing ever.
Yeah, that would be so on brand. It would be ridiculous.
He would probably be like, "I've waited for this."
It's a single tear.
I can throw this fight and die happy because I died to a man's son that 20 years later that he devoted his life to killing me.
Continue. Never stop.
Exactly. I love it. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see. So yeah, no. While Evan's filling that stuff out, Sue, you want to tell us a little bit more about what you've managed to put together?
Um, yeah. So I ended up going with a giant, and with the going A for skills and meta, and E for attributes and money. I was actually able to make him legitimately magical, so he's quite happy with that. I'm trying to figure out how to equip this guy. I need to find out if there's one of those custom lifestyle things in Run Faster where you like live in a ditch, but you have like a closet somewhere that's climate controlled.
Street.
Yeah, but I've got a suit that's worth more than anything else I own.
Well,
I'd
that's
really like to make sure that
Yeah,
it's nicely pressed and
Yeah, I'm hoping you have ranks and survival as in more than one.
What
what's that?
what kind of suit is that?
It is a Mortimer of London barrack suit.
And how much does it run? I think it's
I
36.
I don't remember what it is individually, but with an Argentum top coat and some forearm guards, I think it comes out to 6,800.
Okay. Let me blow your mind here real quick. Ready?
Okay.
You could buy it after character creation. He just got his first job. He's got this fat stack of cash. What's he do? I'm gonna go buy a pimpin' suit.
rather just buy a pimp. That's industrious.
I mean, that's a like investment opportunity there to kind of like, build your business portfolio and other business words and numbers.
Wait, why would I want to buy it after generation rather than now?
Because you could buy something else for armor right now, and save yourself a bunch of
Oh,
money.
I've got another outfit as well.
Well, so that this way you can afford a place to live.
And
Didn't
also
you
a dock
say-
wagon contract.
You don't need.
Didn't you say you had E in resources?
Yeah, so I've got 26 grand to play with. And I've got two outfits. I don't know. Presumably he's got some kind of normal clothes as well. But so I've got the barrack with the Argentum, and then the Shadowrunner standard jacket, helmet, forearm guards, and that's a little more reasonable. I think that totals 1,400.
Something like that after sins and licenses and a lifestyle. It's just something like you mentioned you were having money problems, and I was trying to give another way you can resolve that.
After so if I take a medium lifestyle and a rating for sin with a couple of licenses, I don't remember if it was 2 or 3, but that's
All your money.
21 grand right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess maybe I am gonna have to put this suit off.
It is also, you have infinite cosmic power and a itty bitty living space.
Hey,
So maybe you only have a crappy low lifestyle for now, so that you can save a little money. You have a junk apartment, or maybe you have an apartment that's sized for a human, so it's super aggravating for you.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but I figured that if I have a low lifestyle or something, you want like a nice closet that's not full of, I don't know, awakened spiders, or moths or whatever.
That's an option.
That's a feature. They don't charge you extra for the awakened spiders.
I was about to say, where can I get me some awakened spiders? Sounds like
I
a
think
time.
it's a defense feature that harms your clothing. Okay, so I guess I could put that off. Anyhow, so yeah, he doesn't really have a whole lot going on apart from his ID and address. I haven't even looked into the cost for like foci and stuff. I'm trying to
Don't worry about
trying to
foci
narrow it down.
at character creation because they are crazy expensive. Um, and
Okay.
in play, you will be gaining both Nuyen and Karma. And while I will allow you to kind of switch that around a little bit, sooner or later you're going to be waiting on getting more Karma and have a bunch of Nuyen around that you can then spend on Foci pretty easily.
Right. Okay. So I'm trying to decide whether I want to go with Boar or Peacemaker for his mentor. He is inherently trustworthy, is scared of confined spaces, and refuses to kill children.
Is that a code of honor?
It is.
All right, let's talk about that real quick. Remember how
Okay.
we talked about how negative qualities are put there for your GM to test?
Yep.
So you having a code of honor that you will not kill children tells me that somewhere along our playtime, I am honor bound to threaten children with physical violence.
Then I have to protect them. I think there's a test I have to roll, I could just protect them.
There
like a
is, but
human
is that the
being
kind
would
of
do.
game you guys want to play where I am routinely lighting orphanages on fire?
Yeah, what have you brought? What have you wrought, my friend?
Huh. I don't know that you necessarily need to light orphanages on fire routinely.
I mean,
Well, he
it's
does
a
if you
15
take that negative quality.
it's a 15-point negative quality. That's pretty hefty.
You could just
I
go
remember
more
that
broad and say you won't harm innocents. So, like,
the-
if you're in a
I
car
like
chase
that
and there's...
Oh,
I'm sorry, talking over you.
the
That's bad.
the verbiage said, if the thing is not going to come up often enough, then you can add a second thing to it, like women and children. Although I think that's kind of messed up. But I like innocence. Originally, the idea with this guy was going to be, I liked the character, Twist, I think was his name.
You're talking about Sam Burner?
Yeah. He he described himself as a pacifist. It not in a way that matches the pacifist quality. But he used like sleeping poison and basically stun damage. And that's kind of what I was thinking of for this guy.
So
I was on the fence as to whether I was going to even bother buying him, regular ammo.
So let's talk about innocence for a second. That guy working the security desk, what did he do wrong? He seems pretty innocent to me. That guy you're kidnapping to go work for someplace he doesn't want to work, he seems innocent to me.
No, he's not. One, he's a corporate executive, and he's high enough or involved enough or has specialized enough knowledge that some other corporation is willing to steal him for it. So he's complicit in something. The security guard knew what he was getting into when he signed up to be a security guard.
That doesn't make
It's part
him
of the
not
job.
innocent. He's just trying to support his family. Maybe he's the one good guy that's 2 days away from retirement.
Oh, yeah. 2 days from retirement, always.
I'm
I
just
don't think so.
I'm just putting things out there that this is something that could come up if you decide to stick with this. It is also something that you can entirely do through a roleplay choice, which then I don't have anything mechanical to punish you with, or to test you with, I should say.
I don't think there's any problem with knocking out the security guard or basically stun or sleepy time or whatever that is doesn't maim and kill you. If the alternative would be that somebody's going to raise an alarm that might cause like badass ninjas with rocket launchers.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just trying for us to feel out the boundaries of what's going on here before it becomes up in the middle of a thing.
Oh no, definitely. I'm not arguing like as though I feel I should be allowed to take this and this is my argument. I'm saying that you don't necessarily that there are other ways to look at it than like knocking a guy out. I think would, or rather, I guess what I should say is the way that I'm picturing this particular person's code would permit that.
What does the quality say? Does it just say kill on the
It says
quality?
kill.
Okay. Yeah, no, then non-lethal stuff is totally cool. Just remember that it applies to your team as well.
I'm gonna
So
knock
if
kids out.
I was
Yeah, like it said something about rolling a perception check to see if you notice something's wrong, but I mean, I think I can just be pretty clear that we don't want to kill people because we're not idiots.
Yeah.
The drawback that was stated in the quality said that you do have the issue of leaving witnesses alive,
right, that is totally a thing that could happen.
which
Yeah,
I
I was
think
gonna.
is the best way to leave witnesses.
No.
Otherwise, they're not witnesses.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder. Had you considered looking in Runcaster? They've got alternate codes of honor.
I know there's been some I've like people have been arguing on the subreddit that I don't know. I got into it with somebody who was swearing up and down that Shadowrunners didn't even care about leaving fingerprints or obscuring
Oh,
their identities,
I know who you're
despite
talking
the
about.
fact that everyone in the world is walking around with shot gloves and a ballistic mask on their face.
Yeah,
So
no, I know what you're talking about. That post uh, to my personal opinion is full of shit.
okay, yeah, that's about where I was.
I'm pretty sure that was probably even in response to one of my posts, and I chose to, given that I knew who the person was, not to respond.
I think it may have been, yes. I didn't recognize, or at least I didn't realize that I didn't assign the name to any sort of memory of
No,
anybody being particularly thick or obnoxious.
no,
Uh,
that's all right. Okay,
I was
so
gonna
but
say.
you spend a lot more time there than I do.
too much
So
time.
yeah, but basically, I was looking at a way to model the moral code that Twist has. That's the closest way I found that I could do it. It is limited to just killing, but I think you know I probably wouldn't shoot somebody with 8 boxes worth of real ammo and then punch him to knock him out. I think that's
Right.
probably not cool.
Um,
Um, basically, what I'm saying is he's a pacifist in the way that I think of pacifism.
that you're not a sucker.
Yeah.
Well, I may be, but at least not in that regard.
Truth. Um, who does he know?
That is something that I still have to work up. I've got the one contact in mind, but I need to do the crunch for it. Remind me what the basis is for the contact points you get at generation.
It is charisma times 2.
Oh shit. Well, so he knows one guy. Oh
You
wait,
can boost it with karma.
Yes.
I'm limited to a total of 7, right?
The connection plus the loyalty of a contact cannot be higher than 7.
Okay.
What do you think is
so-
a good value for starting out with a contact?
So there's a chart in the book. I don't remember the pages, but it has a description of as far as like apparent connection rating of people.
Mhm.
Versus
Things like a connection 2 is just regular business partners versus connection 1, which is just some guy whose shop you walk into.
Yeah.
That would be more loyalty than connection.
Sorry, yeah, loyalty, my bad.
No, that's fine. Let me crack open the book here, and I can.
I remember reading the table. My question is more along the lines of like, if I want a strong contact that's loyal, has good connections, that's going to eat up almost all my contact points. Is that advisable to start with, or should we diversify more?
So the good news is we have a whole bunch of people who can diversify, so you can kind of spread that stuff out, and then it depends. Like so many other things with Shadowrun, most things in Shadowrun, it's all depends upon contacts or context. Sorry. Where if you're a cyberware focused character, having a street dock that can get you new wear, probably really important to your character progression. If you're a face and you have 20 some points of context you can use, you can spread it around for a lot of little guys that may have minor uses or more like lateral uses, like the Armenian rug dealer or the paralegal assistant. Little things that's like, you know what, I have this contract here that I need to look through. Let me call up my paralegal. Be like, hey, you want to do lunch and I'll throw you a couple of bucks. Could you help me with this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're a street samurai who spends his days getting shot in the face for money, he might want somebody that can patch him up and, you know, make him look pretty again.
Okay.
Um,
So I guess I would default to Karl-Heinz Stockhausen is a talismonger. That's going to be a connection 3, loyalty 4. And a tailor, Anton Schneider, who will be the rest, I don't know, 1, 2, I guess.
okay. There's, like, I could totally see a lot of uses actually for a tailor. Like, all kinds of specialty armors. Hell, like, dry cleaners, also super useful. It's like, yo, here's $200. I need you to lose that uniform for 2 hours. Tell the guy that it went back in the wash by accident. And he'll say, thank you very much.
Okay,
Or,
cool.
hey, can you clean the blood stains out of my clothes?
No questions asked. Okay, so you want to write down some of that stuff on the...
Yes. While I'm getting information about that stuff, what was the basis for the other thing? Knowledge skills.
Intuition plus logic times 2.
Oh. I'm a little weak in the
knowing of things.
the mental.
I mean, that's just racist because you're a giant.
I had to be charming and willful.
You know who else was charming? Forrest Gump.
But then again, so was Einstein, so you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It gives you room to grow and to spend your karmas.
Okay, so I'll work on.
I will also bring this up because not everybody was here earlier. After the first run is completed, you are more than welcome to completely rebuild your character and keep the rewards. Because we all screw up and forget something. So it's kind of like nobody ever remembers the pilot episode of a TV show. So just go ahead and tweak it, make it character generation legal. Then you may apply the rewards as if you had gotten them anyway with that cheat.
Okay, gotcha. So I've got.
You can always give it a try and then be like, "Damn it."
So I'm thinking. So we're in Seattle. I don't know if you have neighborhoods in the sense of like an expat community. I'm probably going to end up taking a low lifestyle so that I can own something more than an ID card and a gun.
That's probably not a bad idea.
So I was thinking like an immigrant type of neighborhood.
Yeah, that's totally a thing that could be.
Okay. I'll work on the knowledge skills kind of while everybody else is going through it.
Sure.
Let you know what I come up with later on.
Sure. Keegan, I see that you've been writing many things.
Yes.
Hit me.
That way I would be prepared while you were there.
Uh-oh. Chance, pressure's on.
I know, I'm scared. I'm real scared.
No pressure, no pressure. So I have made my character a Japanese female bilingual with English and Japanese. And having been in the Mitsuhama, I believe, is the one I chose for. I mean, that's the right court who've been locked up as technomancer, right?
I mean, all of them do it. So, sure. We can go with that one.
Okay. I didn't know if that would be good or not.
Oh, you make the mistake that I have done any kind of thinking on any of this stuff since last night.
Oh, joy. So basically, I'm one of those people that has far more a far greater sense of importance on my character than you do.
I mean, we'll get into it more as we continue to play, but it'll be, I hope, impressive the amount of work I push off onto you guys. Don't worry.
Okay.
You're also a little quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
That is way better.
Okay. So I have named my character's runner name Hexadecimal. I totally did not rip that off a reboot. I promise. So I've got 3 contacts, 2 of which are going to be Matrix contacts. Yes, I have a Trid Pirate, so that means that me and our Kung Fu Hustle guy over there might just actually be pretty good friends there, you know. I can get all the good shows.
Maybe. I also feel like, being Japanese, he might automatically assume that you know Kung Fu, and that you're just like some kind of ridiculous badass that keeps it like, kind of like knows like. You know, if you're a ninja and you're walking through a crowded mall and there's another ninja there, like, you'll have that moment where you lock eyes with them and you're like, I know you're a ninja.
Okay, don't hoist that racism onto my character, all right?
I was gonna say, just don't test my character that way, okay? Just if you do, it will not.
Like, did you guys see John Wick 2?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Never mind. You'll get the ninja thing when you see it.
I got ID manufacturers a contact, presumably to try and erase some of the data, at least on the Matrix, as far as my character and they're escaping, just to kind of get them to lay low. But since there wasn't an official sin, my character is kind of sinless.
Whoops.
Yeah. I also took the negative quality records on file because I'm assuming the company that kidnapped me will have my DNA and everything else. They just may not have published a sin for me since, it's easier to experiment on someone if they're not legally a person.
Yep. And, it's not so much records as much as a giant pile of research data that contains pertinent stuff.
Yeah, like DNA, body, pictures, facial recognition, that kind of thing.
Where they put the kink bomb.
Oh, yeah, that would be horrible.
Don't
be a room
speak too hard.
Shows. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there as an option.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of knowledge skills as far as like interest knowledges mostly, because I'm assuming apart from learning a little bit about the Matrix, my character probably didn't have too much exposure to the outside world, so they didn't get to learn just too much while they were in there.
Right.
So they speak English and Japanese fluently, but they didn't learn a lot of other languages.
Well, the English-Japanese thing could easily come up in your like pre-kidnapped years, like as a child.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Since it is a Japanese corp and it is in an American headquarters, that's what I'm thinking. It's bilingual would be very easy to pick up. Like I said, city speak because people type a lot of times how they speak in the streets, not necessarily on the Reddits, not necessarily on the Shadowrun subreddit, but in a lot of places when you see like Facebook and other social networks and things like that, people post all kinds of crazy stuff on there. So generally, just a few things here and there as far as skills go. Hopefully, nobody will hate my character for having a high focus on like interest skills rather than like professional.
No, probably not. There are a lot of ways to view a knowledge skill as either a professional skill or a interest.
So yeah.
So Chance.
All right. Well, like I said, my entire character sheet got deleted, so I spent a lot of this time trying to catch up because I'm frantically typing everything I can find. But the concept of my character was largely explained. Like I said, as a kid, parents didn't pay attention. I made friends with a guy who was relatively active with a gang, and he eventually brought me into this whole situation with him stealing cars because he needs a guy to drive because he wasn't a good driver, and it's hard to drive when you're unconscious hacking a vehicle. So I did that. He gets killed, right? So I spent time in a considerable amount of time in prison. I don't do well there. Like I do everything I can to get in the whole good behavior. Maybe the guards will keep me away from all the guys who want to kick my ass. Kind of routes of going through prison. And maybe like I was able to get more computer time, stuff like that. Whatever freedoms you're allowed in the Shadowrun universe prisons, I'm sure they're much worse than our modern ones, and I'm completely underestimating it. But after eventually getting out of that and being set up with my parole officer, who apparently is an absolute dick and requires tons of bribing.
Did you take just criminal sin, or did you take ex-con?
Criminal sin.
Okay.
15% of my income taken is enough. I don't think that I need many more things that are going to drain me.
Too.
Where was
They
I at? Oh.
got it.
After I had gotten out, pretty much that same gang that had gotten me into that situation, that I'd worked for whenever I got into that situation, came up to me like, "Hey, you broke our deck. You got to pay us back." And that's how I get dragged into the Shadowrunning universe. After a few runs, I found out that I'm pretty good at the whole getaway driver thing, because, initially I wasn't actually going on the run. I was more of the guy that sits in the car and gets them out of the tight spot after they get out of the facility. After a while of actually doing running, I managed to install a rig and just steadily got more and more skilled with driving in general, and eventually started picking up on drone work.
Sue, I think we're getting a lot of feedback from you there.
From me?
See if it's me.
I think so. It stopped now,
Is it back?
so
I have changed nothing.
that's all your fault.
Now my phone's ringing. Oh, nope. Okay.
Anyway,
Shoot.
so let me ask you this: what gang or criminal organization was it?
Evan and I. Ah, shoot, I forgot who I was working. Yeah, Evan and I are working together to figure out where exactly we were from, and I will be choosing the gang based on the one that would make the most sense geographically. So I don't know just yet.
Look at this guy; he's all kinds of extra stuff. Love it. Speaking of JT, then let's come back to him.
So, what I've been struggling with a little bit is trying to make a breaking and entering like a thief on that end of things, but it's kind of hard to make a successful thief if we're on the desperate side of things.
You're
like
not
if
on
I'm
the desperate side of things.
No, but if I'm a successful thief, I don't know why. I'm trying to come up with a motivation to be a part of the group if I'm already a successful thief.
Well,
Maybe you smelled it.
go ahead.
That's pretty much the sum of it.
So, let's think about ways that we could get you involved. One, maybe you know one of these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Another option is perhaps you're just a successful petty thief and you want to, pickpocket it. Did you ever see Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
Linus, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
Where they go and he's, his father was a thief or in the criminal empire, and it was like, I don't want to work under my father's name. I'm going to make a name for myself, and that's how he gets involved in that caper.
Yeah.
You could do something like that. You could, maybe you got caught stealing from somebody, and it's a very, you got talent, kid. Let me see if I can, put you to work somewhere because you made the mistake of, trying to steal from somebody who's an actual Shadowrunner or something.
Yeah.
And since you're a compulsive liar, maybe you kind of ruined what contacts you had.
Maybe you showed up here by accident, and then you were like, "Oh God, let me just go along with it."
Okay, no, I got an idea now.
You want to share with the class?
I don't know yet.
Okay, that's fine. Have you considered anything as far as like contacts or goofy knowledge skills?
I did start fleshing them out. I
Okay.
had set up a fence for a contact because thieving. And I had actually picked a pimp named Shags I could go for information for.
Okay.
Figure prostitutes would be a great source of information, especially from wealthy people that would like to have their riches liberated from them.
Yeah. That could even be like a scam you're running.
Maybe it is. Knowledge skills, I hadn't really come up with anything too quirky. I was going through the list in Chummer and nothing really jumped out at me. I hadn't brainstormed my own yet to flesh out the actual person yet, but I'm planning on it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's like what I'm picturing in my head is your typical like cat burglar, sneaking up through windows and fire escapes, cracking saves. It's nothing too intricate about that, really. So I'm trying to come up with a lot of flavor for the person.
Sure. We have been going for about an hour or so, and I see Jack just coming along. So you guys want to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll start talking about more. Well, we'll talk to Jake, but we'll also start talking about some of the group aspects and see about getting the rest of you guys get some notes on the table.
Sure.
Not a problem.
Before we go, one quick question.
Sure.
Can you buy PowerPoints with Karma at character creation?
No, unless you
Okay.
are a Mystic Adept. But
Okay.
Here's another quick question: did you get the copy of the character sheet I linked in Skype? PDF.
I think the only one that I've seen was the Jet one, which I have not looked at. But you guys can send it to me in a minute or two. So let's go ahead and take our break.